This is Majinoni, and here's my review for X-Men Second Coming issue number 2. This is the final chapter 14, so I'm just going to do this one by itself, since I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time with this one. This is actually created by 4 different people. Chapter 1 is written by Zeb Wells and art by Ibram Robertson. Chapter 2 is written by Mike Carey, art by Saad Ribic. Chapter 3 is written by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost, and penciled by Greg Land. And the final chapters by Matt Fraction and Terry and Rachel Dodson. Now, I really liked the whole series as a whole. I think that they really stepped up compared to what the X-Men have been going through. The X-Men have been going through a lot of crap storylines, and the stories that just made no sense, stories that were stupid, and now they finally have something that was good. There's going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't read your book, then come back later. The first chapter, they're dealing with Hope and the loss of Cable. And then it's basically from there, then it goes to the repairing of, or looking at the other members of the X-Men and making sure that they're getting healed up by Hank. Like you have Colossus, and he's going through like this major pain in the ass thing to pressurize to get his arm back to so it's straight. Then you have the Archangel dealing with his wings, Iceman. What's her name? Karma dealing with her robotic leg. Then you have like a thing of like Magneto and Hope having a discussion about how like Hope just about being feared, about being feared because of your power, and then like Hope's like, well, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's good to be feared. From there, the next chapter is a section with Hope and Cable and their relationship together, the funeral, and one thing that disappointed me about the funeral was I know that you had Cable and then you had Nightcrawler die. It didn't give their deaths justice in terms of that. It's just basically just Cable and that's it. So that I found was kind of disappointing. Hope, had a parting message for her, her adoptive dad, and some of the other mutants are like, well, maybe we should, say a few things to her. But they're like, what can you say? Have you seen her power? She can do anything. If you come near her, she seems to know how to use her power. And what can we tell her? Type thing. And then there's a thing with Cyclops and Rogue, how Cyclops thinks that Rogue is a loose cannon, but he understands that he needs her because of Hope. I'm not sure why he's so hard on her, considering everything that he's been doing behind everybody's back with X-Force. Next up, the Greg Land storyline. It's with Wolverine and Storm. They're talking about the things that Wolverine did when he was in X-Force, and Storm is not very understanding of the situation. Wolverine's like, look, it had to be done, and I would do it again. And Storm's pretty much like, well, if that's the case, this is the last time we're going to have a beer together. Which is a shame, because it's like, I understand there's a difference between right and wrong, good and evil, and things like that. And Storm kind of presents that case, but he did what needed to be done. I mean, these people, you can't just lock them up, because they're going to kill you, type thing. So he did the right thing. And then there's a thing with X-23. She's like, well, what's my next order? And then Logan's just like, here, your next order is to figure it out yourself. And all this is doing is basically setting it up to her spin-off series. Then there's a thing with Logan and Wolverine and Cyclops. They're at Alcatraz. They're talking about, well, maybe we did some bad things. X-Force is going to be disbanded. And maybe wouldn't it be funny if the Avengers kind of came and took me? That's Cyclops saying. But again, Cyclops did what he needed to do, type thing. Well, Wolverine goes, well, I'm gonna have to burn some stuff before I go. And what I thought was cool was at the very last part here, it's basically saying first rule of X-Force is nobody knows about us. Now, before I continue on, see, it's like you see him coming into a room like this, and why would everybody be standing in a pose like this, waiting for Wolverine to come into a room? I thought that's stupid. Personally, I like the picture. I think it's great cover art, or advertisement art, but it's stupid. It doesn't really fit in the overall theme, the overall tone of the comic. I think there's another way. I think there's actually better ways that they could have done this page, other than a 2-page pin-up poster, which is probably what it's going to end up being, a poster. Next up is the Terry Dodson one, where it's Hank's leaving, and Hank and Namor have a discussion where it's like, Hank's like, well, why did you bother coming here? And Namor's like, I have my reasons. And then Hank's like, well, humor me. And Namor's like, screw you, I'm not going to humor you. I mean, I think what I think you're doing is repulsive, disgusting. The fact that you're turning your back on your friends like that, you don't do that. And Angel, Iceman, and Namor attempt to play basketball down there. I thought that was kind of funny. Next up is Cyclops and Emma Frost. Emma is pretty much, in a way, she's kind of like shell-shocked, trying to figure out what happened. Cyclops is looking for comfort. He wants reassurance to say what he did was right, and she's unfortunately not quite giving that to him right now. And next thing you see is Hope, and then you see the Phoenix bird, and then there's a little, she kind of looks like Jean Grey, and then she's like, well then, little spirit, prepare. So you can tell they're obviously preparing for a Jean Grey comeback, or Phoenix comeback at some point in time. Personally, I think it's a bad idea to bring her back. She's come back so many times as it is. You're not, I think you're cheapening the character every single time you bring her back. And I understand, like a Phoenix, she will come back. And just like other comic stories, doesn't matter, the person can die a billion times and they come back each time. But I kind of like the dynamics with Emma Frost and Scott. I think they kind of work well together. Next up here is, Emma Frost is like, oh my god, Scott, look what, I just saw something. And then Scott's like, Emma, shut up for a second. Because on the map, mutant activity starts popping up again, so people are now becoming mutants again. So now, Scott realizes what he did was the right thing to do. And that's the issue. Now, I said, overall, I really liked the second coming. I thought, because it's the art, I like the art as a whole, but the only thing is it's inconsistent, which I can understand since it's going through how many different X titles. So it was fine. The only thing was, at times, I think that it broke up the momentum of the story in that you like one artist and it's like, wow, and then all of a sudden, maybe the next one isn't so good, or you don't like that one as much. So you kind of lose a little interest in it. Even though the story was good, you're just like, a little bit more distant, and then the next one's like, oh, this is cool again. So that would be my complaint about the art. But overall, I thought the art was pretty solid. I thought the storyline was good. I liked the way they were bringing the mutants back again, because was getting so sick and tired of this. There's only how many more mutants left, and we just lost 10 more. Cry. I think it kind of ruined the Beast storyline where he was going out looking for the cure and stuff. But that's fine, because that really didn't go anywhere. And 2 years from now, nobody's going to remember that the Beast even went out looking for a cure. And I'm definitely going to buy the trade when this comes out. I highly recommend you guys buy the trade. This was an amazing book. Now, I'm not going to recommend buying this one, but Second Coming trade, definitely. It was good. And that's basically what I feel. It's been really enjoyable. I hope that the next storylines coming up will keep up the momentum that this brought out. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it on the side. Tell me what you think. Did you like Second Coming as a whole? Did you think maybe it was lacking something? Would you rather have seen Phoenix actually come back, or would you rather just have the teaser that it gave you? Subscribe to the channel, and until next time.